I'm just going to be on just a couple of minutes. I've got some dinner started and I'm waiting for my water to boil. Damn it, that didn't work. So I'm not going to be on very long at all. This is really brief. Just want to give everybody just a minute to pop in. And for anybody that is trying to find the link to David's Etsy store, I'm going to put it in the comments below as soon as I get done with this, so that you can find it. Obviously, if y'all saw Booma's stream the other night, he wants like 3 frogs. He wants 2 Kiss Your Butt frogs and a toad. I don't have one of the toads. The only toad I made has gone to Samantha so far, and but I don't have one to show you what they look like, but they're cute. They're just like a little sitting toad, and they've got a butt crack. But they look more like a frog, a toad, than a realistic toad. So of course, I've got this variant green color that I really love for frogs, but I know that a lot of people are wanting a different option. I'm having problems with my hook. Are wanting a different option when it comes to colorways. And so I looked the other day when I was doing some shopping I had to do online. I went and looked to see what colorways they could offer that might work for frogs. And of course, we've got the normal frog. This is my green variant I use normally for frogs. But, hold me up. I went when I was doing a Walmart order for some groceries. Don't buy your meat at Walmart also. Just get canned stuff, I found this peaches and cream stripy variant. I don't even know what the name of it is. Oh, I've got this dried on Tigger, and I'm going to leave it clipped. There, stay. It just says peaches and cream stripy. I don't know where they normally put their names. Wait a minute. Green stripes. That's all it says. Anyway, it works up kind of like that. Thought this would be cute for a frog too. Kiss Your Butt frog. Thought this would be really cute. This would make a lighter, brighter kind of frog. And then I thought, well, let's go back to natural colors. I found this one. This would make a really, this probably I could get maybe 2 frogs out of it if I'm very careful. This would make a deeper colored natural frog instead of the vibrant green that does kind of a more, it looks like more manufactured color. And this looks like a more naturally occurring color when you work it up. But I also am looking at options for like poisonous frogs, tree frogs. So I'm looking at colors for those too, because there seems to be so much interest in the frogs. So again, this is my normal color for frogs. If you think I'm crocheting enough, look at my blister I got going on my hand. Can you see it? There it is. Look at my blister I got going on my finger. Crocheting a lot. This is my normal frog variant color, which is a favorite. I still have some of this, so we're good. But then I found this peaches and cream, which I think would make a very cute little frog. I think it'd be a very cute little, be a nice way to hold up your Kiss My Butt frog and still have it be cute. So you can be sassy and be cute at the same time. But like I said, the last thing I found was this. I thought this was beautiful. I think this is going to work up really well. I don't know which one I'm going to try next. I don't know. I think I'm just going to make a bunch in all these different colors. Hello. I'm just going to make a bunch in all these different colors and let David have them to pay him back for the yarn that I buy. And kind of see who is the favorite amongst the ones that I make the next few days. I'm working on a rainbow possum and these frogs currently. So I really like this. I really, truly do like this. But then I think this is going to be fun too. I think this is really going to be fun. But I am looking for like some bright neons for like a poisonous tree frog. And this is my normal frog color. So I've got plenty of these left to get me through the next week or so. But I'm going to try to do different colors and kind of see how they come out. And because I know, a lot of people, they want a frog, but they maybe want it in a specific colorway to maybe match a bedroom or to, match wherever they're going to keep it, or because they have a favorite color that they want to want it made out of, and I get all of that. So I was like, well, let me just look at some of these colorways. So those are the 3 that I found that I immediately like, and we'll see what I like when I actually get them made up. You never can tell. Sometimes when you get them made up, you're like, that didn't really work out the way I thought it was going to, and you kind of learn your lesson, and you learn that yarn is not going to work up like you envisioned, and you use it for something else, and that's completely fine. The reason that when David sells these, I tell him to put 20 on them is because these are, if I made these out of blanket yarn, they would be ginormous. Because it is this little 3 and 4 weight yarn, they come out very small, but they still have, hundreds, if not thousands, of stitches in their legs and bodies each. And so they take a long time to make because the yarn is so small, the hook is so small. I think I may one day try to buy blanket yarn and make one out of blanket yarn to see how big it turns out, just to kind of give y'all an idea of how many stitches are actually in these guys, because they're a very busy pattern, because they keep you working. The legs, exactly, because they are just in a 4 to 6 round stitch round, and they take a lot of rows to get them done. So it can be a little tedious sometimes to make these, but I've gotten to where I pick up the hook and my hands just do this, so it's not a very big deal to me anymore, and I enjoy it. Now, the reason why my hand is blistered right now is from the blanket yarn things that I made for my twin grandbabies, their birthday gifts. And I don't think I'll make any more Tiggers and Poos in blanket yarn, and not unless my grandbabies need a replacement. But I'm still probably going to make those worsted weight sizes and see what they look like. And I probably will let David have those too. I'm just really curious to see what the worsted weight sizes will look like and how they'll work up. I'm trying to get all this stuff lined up because, as you know, my mom's having surgery this coming week. And so this coming week I'm going to be super busy. So I'm trying to finish some things up, get other stuff, ideas going, get my yarn packed, get some clothes packed, and get some laundry done, because I'm going to be busy over the next coming weeks. So I just want to have everything packed and ready to go, so that when I do have a moment where I can pull out my yarn and crochet, I've got everything with me, and I've gone through it to make sure I have everything with me, and I don't waste time going, oh, I forgot something, because I totally will. I've got Tigger here if you want to see Tigger. He turned out really well. I've got to be careful because I've got a tag drying in his honey. This is how Tigger turned out. This is Tigger. All the stripes. Here's his tail. The stripes on it too. This is my Tigger. I've got his tag stuck in here drying with a clothespin. And I think he turned out really cute. What do you think? I'm really tickled with him. I think he turned out really cute. I'm tickled with him. I think my grandson will be tickled with him. He's ginormous, just like Winnie the Pooh. So they match each other almost perfectly in height. And I'm tickled with how everything turned out this week. Although I have been so busy and so tired, I've actually been sleeping a lot. As you can tell, I've been napping today. Can you tell? Yes, you can tell. Because my body finally has gotten over to the point of whatever I have been dealing with the last couple months, not even long, couple months. I got sick, and then as soon as I thought I was getting better from getting sick, it wrapped back around and went to my sinuses and ears, which a lot of people in Middle and East Tennessee have been having a lot of issues with. We're paying attention here in the hills and hollers. We're paying attention to what's going on with our health, and we're talking about it. But I have been able to actually rest and sleep. So I've slept a lot the last 2 days, off and on, letting my body kind of recuperate. And I know that bad weather's coming tomorrow, so I was trying to get as many naps in today as I could, because tomorrow I probably will not sleep. This is what happens when you crochet. You pull your calluses off, and then you make new blisters. That's hard to show. That one's really hard to show. There it is. There you see it. Look at that coming off my finger. I'm going to have to start wrapping my fingers if you want to crochet. But this is from the blanket yarn. The worsted weight does not do this to me. It's just the blanket yarn where you're like I was wrestling these guys. They're so big I was wrestling Tigger and Pooh to get Tigger and Pooh made. So in the picture on my post page, don't worry, I did remember to go back and put Winnie the Pooh's eyebrows and smile. I didn't forget that. I almost did, but I didn't. I got it in there. So they're getting mailed Monday morning. My yarn was 4 days late coming in, which got me off schedule, but they're getting mailed Monday morning. So be happy to get them on their way and get my grandbabies happy. Get their little birthday presents. Little my butt, they're giant. So anyway, if you have seen any other options for the frogs, I really like this new one. I really like it. I don't know how much they keep it in stock, but I do know that the peaches and cream I can almost always find in stock. I think this will make a cute frog too. But I am looking for the loud ones that look like poisonous frogs. Don't worry, I got you covered. But I'm still going to make like 4 more in this color at least. But I'm going to, since David, he's bought me so much yarn this last month, I don't want to see my yarn bill. My yarn bill has been substantial this month. But now this was very expensive yarn for the grandbabies' birthdays. I'm going to justify it. I'm going to. So that's why this month had a higher yarn bill. But I have found some other variegated yarn options that may also work up into cute frogs. I'm going to try a couple of those. I do have a couple of those here, but I don't know if they're going to work out as well as these that I showed you. But I'm definitely going to try these that I showed you. But I am looking for like the poisonous frog color versions because I know a lot of people have asked me about that as well. If you want a frog, you have to go to David's Etsy because this is basically people that want a frog because they've seen them on Booma's stream or Sabrina's stream, and they want to kiss my butt frog as well. And I don't care to make them. It's just, I just have to make them as I can. And if you will message David on his Etsy store, which is Hillbilly Heart Decor, and say, I would like a frog, then we'll just put you in the lineup. And as I get the frogs made, I'll hand them to David and I'll be like, here, this is yours. Because I still have a couple going elsewhere, but I'll say, this is yours. And he'll put up the ad. The Kiss My Butt frogs are $20 each plus shipping. And it is because even though they're smaller creations, they're done with a very fine gauge yarn. And the stitches, there's, several hundred to 1,000 or more in each leg. I've got several thousand stitches in each frog. And so it takes me a while. Plus the yarn, the stuffing, and the eyes, the safety eyes, and all that. So there's quite a bit that goes into those. And which is, I think, why they probably turn out so cute. I don't think I've ever made one that was just not adorable. Hi, Sanford. I like the bright colors too. I think they'll be a hit, and I think they'll be cute. And I think even if I could find like some red, orange, purple for like poisonous frogs, I think that would be terribly cute too. So I just wanted to pop on and say that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, after I get done with this green one, I'm going to try this, which I think will be very pretty. And then I'm going to try this peaches and cream, which I think will be adorable. And then I've got a couple of skeins here that I think might work. I'm going to try them. If they don't look like they're going to work, I'll just frog them and put them out, frog them. That's what you call when you take what you've made apart because you didn't like it, you frog it. That's funny. If I don't like the frog, I'll frog it and use it for something else. But then I am watching a couple of yarn stores for some sales and stuff in some brighter colors of the variegated cottons. So 9 times out of 10, these are also made out of cotton, which makes them a little bit more expensive for me to make. But they last longer. I really think the cotton lasts longer. A little bit hardier in case you need to spot wash them or hand wash them in your sink. They're a little bit hardier too. So that's where we are. Yeah, I've been sleepy all day, and this is one of my like day dresses. It's supposed to be like a summer spring dress, but I wear it a lot on days that I think I'm gonna be snoozing a lot because it's very comfy. But this was bought for me as a joke when I was a parole officer. Somebody said I should make orange numbers for the back, like a jumpsuit at prison. And I actually have striped leggings. That everybody when I was parole officer bought me striped stuff. So actually I have striped pajama leggings. I have striped sweaters. This day dress. It was funny. They thought to buy the parole officer prison stripes. So I have a lot of striped stuff that I still wear. And this is really comfortable, but I wear it a lot when I'm going to be snoozing during the day. And I have slept the last 2 days when I've had time. I have slept hard, and it's been very nice. My body's finally healing, so I feel much better. So if you don't mind, this week, keep my mom in your prayers. She does have her surgery this week. We're expecting a little bit of slam of bad weather, and then it's going to pretty back up. But we're going to have like severe weather tomorrow and part of Monday, and then snow Monday night and Tuesday. You just never know what you're going to get up here. And then it's supposed to be up to like 68 in like 48 hours. So it's going to be a whoo-hoo. I'm going to be, while mom's in the hospital after her surgery, kind of monitoring things. And then as soon as she gets home, I will be down the mountain with her full time. So that's what we're doing right now. So I can have a couple more days to rest while she's still in the hospital. So I'm going to be keeping close eyes on her and Dad while they're going to this surgery, and while they have her in the hospital and Dad running back and forth. My aunt's going to come in, I think, and sit with the Chihuahua for a couple days. And then when Mama gets sent home, I will be going there to stay with her. So that's the plan. So I'm trying to sleep as much as I can right now. Thank you so much. Just when you think about it. And also keep Sal in your prayers. Now, Sal is doing great. So we have a husband and wife. They both use the Icon Sal lines. And it was the husband that had the medical emergency, but he's doing phenomenal, almost like a miracle man. And so there's been, a very positive occurrence in that subscriber's life. And a lot of it probably has to do with, we had probably 5,000 people plus 3 haulers and 4 churches and like 3 platforms praying for them. So, but it's been like a miracle how quickly he's recovered and is doing phenomenal. We're so happy to hear that. So just keep them in your prayers. My dad's doing really wonderful from his heart procedures. And now it's, we've got to get Mom through this. And then pretty soon I'll be going through the radiation of my thyroid. That sounds so fun. It's not working and it's causing me problems, so he needs to go. We're just going to evict him, okay? We're gonna shock and awe him, and if he doesn't shut up, we're going to evict him. But that'll be in a little while. It's going to have to get warmer. She doesn't want to stress me while the weather's cold. So we've got a lot going on health-wise, and my grandbabies have had their birthday party today, and I'm hoping that the weather held out and was very nice for them. They're so far away, it's hard to always know. We're having some kind of big truck thing in the area this weekend, and all I can hear are big diesels revving everywhere, and it's annoying. I live far off the road, and I hear big diesels revving everywhere. It's not my favorite weekend to live here when they do these things. But oh well. I've turned on like something to make noise. I turned on my dehumidifier, and I've slept pretty good. Kind of drowned out all the peeling out and mufflers and all the crap that those people have on their vehicles. They come here, and it literally, our town doubles in size in a matter of days, and they cause so many problems with it here. And I don't know why they continue to have this event here. It doesn't really make us any money, but whatever. We all just go home and hide during it, but they just kind of take over our town. And I know the cops make a lot of money because they write the hound out of tickets because these people do not obey any laws. Like down Main Street in a golf cart is absolutely illegal here, but they just do whatever they want when they're here. So we just all avoid town when this goes on, which I've not been out of the house in how long? That's for doctor visits. The only reason I leave. So, but this has been the longest break I've had in a while. And of course, Mom visited me the other day just to make sure I was doing okay. But I have used it to rest and recuperate and relax and prepare for next week. And just to emotionally get through it and then to physically get through it when Mom gets home. And I think I'm in a good place now. So that makes me feel better. So that when I get back down there and I'm down there full time, I'm on task and I'm not running on 40% battery, which I had been doing for a long time. So, got a busy week. I am going to be crocheting off and on all week, so I'll get these frogs going as quick as I can. But like I said, if you want one, just go to David's Etsy store. It's Hillbilly Heart Decor. He buys the yarn. He lets me do all this crafting to keep me calm when I need, my sanity is about to be broken and I need to remain calm. He buys me all this yarn. So if you buy Kiss My Butt Frog, know that you're just helping recoup David's yarn bill because I am a burden. And he will appreciate it greatly. So you can go to Hillbilly Heart Decor on Etsy and just message and say I would like a frog, and we'll put you in order. And I'll get them done as quickly as possible. When I get them done, he will put up his Etsy order and send you the link, and you can safely and securely pay for your frog and get it shipped. They are $20 plus shipping. I try to ship them as lightly as possible. Like I will cram them into the little mailer bags or into tiny boxes. I will try to do it as efficiently as possible, but I hate shipping. There is no cheap way to ship anything anymore. It's the bane of my existence. I hate it. David asks me all the time to do. He's like, will you do that shipping and packing for that? And I'm like, fine. I hate it. Because that's where they really are, and they dig in for money. That's where Etsy really digs in to make a buck, and I don't like it. Hey, Sal, I just asked everybody to keep you in the prayers and let them know that you were doing so much better, and we're going to keep praying. Like I said, they both use the icon, but normally when one's on, the other's in earshot. So we're praying. We're praying that things keep going really positive for you, and that you just keep proving yourself a miracle every day. Now, we always knew you were a miracle because you're part of our group. And we're all miracles. Lightning's going to strike here in a minute. I better stop. But we absolutely do have a very busy week coming up. So toss up some thoughts and prayers. Keep Sabrina in your prayers. She's doing a lot of stuff and kind of doing the framework for her classwork she's going to be doing this summer, and has got a lot on her heart and mind. And, that's a big task she's taking on. And I know she'll rock it because the classes last time were a huge success. Everybody that meets her loves her. And when you meet her in person, it's just an amplification of what you feel online. And it's nice when people meet her in person because it takes her from, just a figment of your imagination in a box to a real person, and that helps you understand her even more. It's a much healthier perspective of who she is. So if you can go to some of her classes, please do. If I'm healthy, I'm going to try to catch her around Nashville. If I'm super healthy, there may be a possibility I travel to Alabama. We'll just have to see how my health holds out. But there's open possibilities. So I'm going to try to do everything I can to see as many of you as possible. It just depends on health and how everybody up here is doing. But that's the hopes for right now. So it's going to be a fun summer, an interesting summer. So we've got a lot going on. Got a bunch going on. So like I said, if you would prefer a different color frog, put that in your message. And I can send you pictures of the yarn I have. And if I get any new yarns in and I think it would match better, I'll send you a photo of that as well. But if you want a frog, Hillbilly Heart Decor, message David, say I would like a frog, and we'll put you in the lineup. And as I get them done, he'll just start making ads and sending the links to the next person, because he can do a private ad and send the link to that person. And that's the only person that can purchase it. And that's just what he's going to do. And he says, thank you very much if you help him recuperate some of his yarn bill, because I am quite the yarn chewer upper. I like to make things. It keeps me sane. Like a giant Tigger for my grandson and a giant Winnie the Pooh for my granddaughter. He turned out so cute. He's got a clip holding his tag in as it dries. But even his tail's got stripes on it. He turned out so cute, y'all. He turned out so cute. I had to embroider all the faces and stuff because obviously there's two. We don't want them choking on anything. So everything was embroidered. Took forever. Worth it for my grandbabies. Never making another giant one again, but I will make the worsted weight size ones, and I will put a pair for sale in David's shop when I get them done, because I bought an overage of yarn, which he did dog me about. And I said, okay, what I'd have over in my worsted weight, I'll make you a set to sell. And that seemed to appease him. So, y'all, he never tells me no when I say I need something to craft to stay sane. He never tells me no. I'm also going to be doing some jewelry. I've gotten a lot of my little spacers and pieces in, and David's gotten some of my toe bones done, and he's got some other stuff that he's getting done probably by the end of next week, and I'll be ready to roll on the jewelry. So as I come back to grab more clothes and change out, maybe cook David a dinner and go back down the mountain, I'll be grabbing other craft items to do the work down at the farm. And I will try to keep you all as up to date as possible. It's okay. It's just a quick one. I'm just showing yarn. So like I said, this one is the Peaches and Cream that I think will be a very cute frog. This is one I'm really going to enjoy trying, though I don't know how much they keep it in stock. This one I can always get. And then this is my staple frog color, which I can always get as well. If you like it and you prefer it, just let me know. But I'm going to start making some other ones as well and offering different color options. And if there's a color that you particularly want, you're free to message David and say, is this a possibility? And if I have that, something that will work, I will send you a photo and see if you like it. So that's where I'm at. Everybody seems to be wanting a frog, and that's fine. I'll make him. I don't mind. It helps David in the long run because he does. I mean, what I craft and what I send out as like the free gifts and the bonuses to friends and the donations, like we donate to the Boys and Girls Club, to 3 local charities every year up here that have things 3 times a year up here. The Boys and Girls Club at the county next door. We donate, oh gosh, there's so many things we donate to. We did 3 memorial funds for funerals last year for families that were in financial hurt. And David normally does, like, I do the big wreaths or the bigger dream catchers, or he will do the big beaver hoops. And we send them like the big things that people will pay big money for. So we do a lot of donating in the area. I make a lot of stuff for the local Hope Chest, which helps families that are in financial need. So I make them frogs and hats and scarves. So they can either give a kid or a family member something they need for winter, or they can give them a plushie if, like, you know, they normally supply them to the cops and to like the DCS workers. So if a family has had a fire or a child has been removed from a home, they can give a kid a comfort item. And so that's where a lot of my leggy frogs go to, and the plushies that I send up there. So we try to do a lot of good. But I do like yarn, and I buy a lot. And this is a good way to chew it up and to offer David an appeasement because I buy so much yarn. I mean, I'm not an expensive wife, but I definitely like yarn. Oopsie. You still have the vertebrae earrings? Yeah, you can still vertebrae earrings. I think I still actually may have a pair or 2, and then I'm fixing to make a bunch of vertebrae earrings. So if there's something you would like that you know that I make, that you know David normally has at his festivals, just message David and say, hey, I would like this. And I'll just put it on my list of things to make and supply for him. And I don't mind at all to do that. Like I said, he buys everything for me to craft with, so it's my way of paying him back. And then I keep what I want for myself and my friends and my donations that I do through the year. So it's an amicable way for me to bleed some yarn money out of him every winter and not feel so bad about it. Yeah, and now listen, Ophelia, you know how to contact me too via phone. So if you need something too, you can always just yell at me over the phone. But if you want to do a secure purchase, it's over David's Etsy. Some of you have turned into family, so some of you know how to get hold of me and just yell at me. So, but that's what we're going to be doing. So I hope you are excited about that. I know David is always pleasantly surprised when he gets an order for something that I can make to help him earn back some yarn money, because I really do go through a lot of yarn for him. But it's fun. It's fun, and I like to give back. We've crocheted for foster kids here, and we've done a lot of giveaways. And I do, even when David has purchases through his Etsy, if I know it's one of my subscribers or somebody that spends time with me on this channel, I normally try to throw something in for you that's handmade by me, just as a thank you that we know, we see you, we understand that, you know, you're a loyal Hillbilly Heart follower, and we normally throw something extra in there for you as well. And this is my way of just kind of being nice and saying thank you, because we're not monetized or anything on this channel, and it's honestly my sanity, and y'all are just family basically. But I do spend a lot of David's money on yarn, and I feel better every time I sell a crochet item, because then I can go, here you go, see that yarn turned into, see, you came back, and then I don't feel as bad, because I did a huge yarn order for the Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, huge, and I bought the expensive yarn. This is for my grandbabies. I'm going to use the leftovers. I'm using some leftovers in the rainbow possum, and I'm going to try to use other leftovers and other things. So I don't know where it's going to pop in at, just whatever it looks like it will be good at. That's where I'll stick it. So. Ophelia likes to fly under the radar. I've probably shown you how they work a lot. I had somebody say, how do guns work? Like somebody said, I'm scared of guns. I always have a gun normally right now it's about 7 foot away from me. I always have a gun pretty close to me. If y'all were on a few months ago, we had rogue dogs that were wandering the neighborhood. And for 3 mornings in a row, when David had gone out, they would like come up on him, like, you know, like they own the place. And they have to go through 3 fences to get to our interior fence here, which is really irritating. I always have a pew-pew next to me. I put people in prison for how long? I mean, I'm not stupid. And I don't care a bit. Like I do a lot of, you go back to some of my earlier videos, there's some shooting videos, there's some crossbow videos. I always have one near me. I have them strategically placed in my home because I did put people in prison for, you know, a long time. I'm not stupid. And I keep them with me at all times. And a lot of people are scared of them. And if I can let you know that it's not a terrifying thing, I will. They're not a terrifying thing. Not you just need to work and become very comfortable with them and intelligent about them. You need to know everything about how your gun operates, how you clean it, how you take it apart. You need to know every instance, every reportable instance of that gun having a jam or misfire. You need to do your research when you purchase them. You need to know that they're not terrifying. And so if I'm sitting here and I show you that I have my pew-pew beside me, you shouldn't be terrified. That is a tool. It's like me having a screwdriver when I'm making, you know, my little shelves that I put my jewelry on to sell them on. You know, it's just, it's a tool in life. And I think a lot of women, when I worked with them, a lot of women didn't want to apply for the positions that we had because that was when they were really phasing in the weapons. And a lot of women were scared to come to work for the Department of Corrections because they didn't want to handle a weapon. Women, learn to handle a weapon. Okay, the world is not a very fair place to begin with. And when you remove the fact that you are not as physically strong and capable as the men that often harass and subdue women, please learn to handle a weapon. Please look at the things you carry in your day-to-day life. Look at them differently. Can they be used as a weapon? You carry something with you at all times that you can tactfully turn into a weapon. Okay? Streets are not safe. I would hope that you never have to use it, but streets are not safe. Be hyper aware. When I sent my daughter off to college on campus, you guarantee that she had something that she could use as a weapon at all times on her. Now you have to be very suave about it, and you have to know your state laws, and you have to ride that line really close. But I wasn't about to send my gorgeous Miss America pageant-looking daughter off to a campus without something to secure her safety. And so for the people that are terrified of these things, you need to become aware. It's a tool. It's like a screwdriver. It's like a hammer. It's like a frying pan to a stove. It's a tool, and it shouldn't scare you. And I probably need to do another shooting video on here pretty soon. We'll let trapping season go ahead and die down, and I'll let them get the cattle swapped back over. And when they get the cattle swapped over and I get the side that's a little bit got a better swag to shoot on, I may ask David if we can go down there and do some target practice. And I've got one rifle. We've got a new scope for it. It's going to have to be bore-sighted. Might be a good thing to share with y'all. Might be a good thing. You don't know what you're going to see on this channel because this is just a true life channel. This is just me. This is my life. I'm a retired parole officer. I put people in prison. I work with the worst of the worst gangs and did a very dangerous job. And I stay armed. Tennessee is an open carry state. And you can also get your concealed carry permit here as well. It's not a big deal. And I think it's a wise decision for a lot of women to raise their comfort level with these tools because they're safety tools. If you use them appropriately and you learn about them, it's just a safety for life. It just really is. And I think we need to do another shooting video. I really think we do. It's more of an educational video. And a lot of people are terrified of things they've never seen or handled. And they look at a chunk of metal and they think it's going to come alive and strangle them. And I'm like, no, it's probably not. It's probably not. Or they envision there's only one type of person that handles these things. And I'm like, no, where I come from, everybody handles them. Everybody. I was sitting alone on a tree stump at 12 deer hunting. It's just, and if you come from a place that doesn't, you don't see these very often, it's probably a good idea to become at least acquainted with them. So that if you ever find yourself in some kind of issue and you have the ability to possibly use one of these things, you at least know how to use it if you were in a bad situation. But I listen, everybody should have a personal safety weapon. Or everybody should. It's your right, and you should exercise that right. And it shouldn't terrify you. I mean, if a chunk of steel terrifies you, why doesn't a farm gate terrify you? It's the same thing. Actually, I think I've probably seen farm gates do more harm in my life. You should not stand and swing on those things. Okay, they break. I don't know, but that's kind of like, I don't know. David doesn't get a lot of tree huggers on his channel because I think he just looks mean, so people leave him alone, which I find hilarious. I'm the mean one. I tell everybody I'm the mean one. But for me, it's about like, if you're an adult, you should probably be aware and have at least a working knowledge of how these things work. What mechanisms they employ, the different types, how many, okay, if you know your weapons and you know the different magazines, or some people call them clips, if you know the different magazines and how many rounds each type of magazine holds, you can look at a weapon that somebody's coming at you with, and if they're going to come at you with that weapon, you can identify, okay, that magazine holds this many rounds. If they have one in the chamber, that's one extra. If I hear this many shots, I'm good to run. They have to reload. Do you know how many lives that could save? Just simple understanding, simple knowledge. I trained my children when they were in school, and they knew about every weapon, how to identify what it was, its load capacity, its magazine capacity, how long it takes to average reload time. And they knew when their go time was if they found themselves in that position. And a lot of parents are like, I wouldn't subject my child to that. I would, to protect them. I would subject them to a LARPing at home to protect themselves so they have an idea. Muscle memory is a big thing. And when people go into fight or flight mode, if you have some muscle memory, it's going to help you a lot. A whole lot. Not a good one. Oh, no. I'm a hateful one half the time. But, working in the real world with felons for a long time, you learn that not everybody's Mary Poppins. And it's just very important to be hyper aware in this world right now. And listen, y'all have rights to protect yourself. Educate yourself. Do your research. At least know how these weapons are used, how they fire, the different types of mechanisms on the different types of guns, magazine capacity. At least if you can look at that gun, identify it, know how it fires, the range that it can be used at, the most lethal. You kind of have an idea when you can run, where you can go, when he's reloading, how long you got. That is good knowledge if you're in a situation like that. It's good knowledge. A lot of people that didn't grow up in the South, if somebody was standing at the end of my driveway with a shotgun, in my mind, I'd be going, I'm probably good if they don't have a turkey choke. If they got a turkey choke in, I'm hit. But I'll take that chance if I'm trying to get somewhere and get safety, right? The average person that didn't know anything about guns would just immediately give up. Why? Listen, even a 12 gauge at that range, if they've just got regular shot in it, if they don't, it's just going to scatter. It might peel you a little bit, tick you off, but it's not going to kill you. Shotguns are for up close and personal, remove chunks of you. Far away, the shot scatters and gets less impactful and less damaging. Unless you got a turkey choke. A turkey choke holds that shot close. We leave our guns in our turkey chokes year round. Because what's the point? So that's what we do. They kick a little harder, but once you grow up with them, you don't notice it. So you need to know these things. You need to know these things. I even quizzed my daughter on when we were doing the like a live shooter in a school setting. I even quizzed my daughter and grabbed the double barrel. I said, "What if they're coming at you with this and you hear one shot?" She goes, "They have to reload, but he's got another barrel. I got to hear two." And I was like, "Thank you, Jesus. My daughter is smart." That could have saved her life had she been in one of those situations, So I'm all about people. You got to know what's going on. You can't be scared of these things. They are a tool for life. You have to be, you have to be up here, rational, logical, to use one and use it appropriately. But y'all, in this day and age, yeah, you need to have, it's your right to have it. You need to have at least an at-home weapon. I mean, seriously, women, come on, seriously, women. But we'll do a shooting video here soon. I can flash another gun at you. Normally, if I have one near me, and like there's been a dog in the yard or something, it's reminded me that, oh yeah, this is come in handy today. I used to keep one on me when the kids went to wait for the bus over there by the barn lot. And you dang Skippy, I'm glad I did. And lots of times I just get up and get a little old 22 and have it on my back because we got coyotes and everything that run around here. And you never know what's eking around, right after dawn when the school bus is going to drive up. And one morning, just lo and behold, we're starting to have a lot of rogue dogs in this area. We've had 2 people in this area killed by rogue dogs. Rogue dogs are way worse than coyotes, way worse than wolves because they don't have any fear of humans. So we had a rogue dog come through, a rogue hound, and it just took to squalling at my children. And they got on the bus that morning because it showed up a little late. The next morning, I told Lane, I said, you take that 22 with you? And when you see the bus cresting the hill, just stick it inside the barn, and I'll come and get it after you and get on the bus. And he goes, okay. Well, he took that 22 over there, and I told him, if you see that dog and it comes up, I said, you can get a safe shot, shoot it. So I sent him on out to the bus. I do a perimeter look, but it had been laying over in the swamp waiting. And he got through one fence to where they wasn't going to make it back to the house if they was running. Here it come running at him. I heard the dog go, brr, and then I heard crack. I didn't hear anything else. And then I heard my son go, I'm putting the gun in the barn, Mom. You'll have to haul this dog off. He was 12, 13, protected himself very efficiently. Of course, when he was 5, he did a knife hunt for one of the wild hogs at my brother's hunting lodge. So we taught him very early, this is a lifestyle you're going to have to embrace. So it's just how we raise people around here, y'all. That's how we get our food. That's how we protect ourselves. It's how we keep the peace with all these wild animals and these rogue domestic animals. And it's a different way of life. And I understand if you've never walked off pavement, I sound very foreign to you. I understand that. Exercise your right to expand your mind and understand how other people in the same country live and live much differently than you. Yeah, we had him hunting when he was young. He learned very, very quickly. And before he ever deer hunted from a stand, before he could ever safely hunt from a tree stand and peer through a scope and kill something at all those paces and be very distant and almost like disassociated from it, I wanted him to be up close and personal. We practiced with bags of grain at the barn, how to get a good jab, a safe jab. I picked the catch dogs that we'd raised with the kids. I picked the guides that went with them. He did the most quick and effective little knife kill. So proud of him. He was all business. And his mission was to, as humanely as possible, dispatch that animal. We ate it. She was just like a 70-pound sow. She was good. She was pretty good. We split her and barbecued her. It was one of the last legal knife hunts in Tennessee, and I made sure to do that before they outlawed the knife hunts on the hunting lodges, which I don't know if they've taken that back out and let it. I don't know how the restrictions are on knife hunts now, but they had removed them. They were removing them the next year, so I thought I'm going to make him do this because I wanted him to know you are taking this animal's life. It is not a game. It is not something that you remove from because your bullet travels 1,200 feet per second. You are still responsible for dispatching this animal and doing it humanely. And I want you to see what you're doing so that even when you can do it, from way over yonder, you still do it humanely, knowing what the animal's going through. And my son he's only ever shot one deer twice, and that was because he shot the buck and it turned and charged him, and he shot it again. But other than that, he's only ever shot anything once. And when the seniors in the area wanted the donated deer, they'd ask for my son's deer that he'd donate, because they knew he only ever shot things once. And so they weren't going to get a tore up deer. They were going to get good meat. So, yeah, they still do the spear hunts in some places, but this was the up close knife hunt, and I think it had the impact on him I wanted it to have. He's been a very humane and respectful hunter, because we eat these animals, but because we rely on them, we know that they rely on us. And so we have a very respectful nature between us and the wildlife here. And just like you see us when these does drop their fawns off here, we call the TWRA, but they normally just tell us, don't let them get too used to the humans, but just watch them. We don't have a place for them in any rescue. They're always full. And y'all remember a few years ago, we watched Gimpy Gumpy. He stayed here and ate my gardens for how long? We had a pregnant doe stop here last year and give birth, and they ate everything I put out twice. But we still were like, well, you can use the barn lot as a safe place. That's fine. And we have does that use our barn lot as a daycare. We understand that. And we enjoy it. We don't mind to step in and help when we need to. Provide a safe spot. We enjoy them. And we won't harvest them. We get very attached to our does that reproduce and use us as a safe spot around here. We kind of offer them that tip your hat. We're not going to harvest you. You make the babies. And but we only hunt on those big farms. 3,500 plus acres. So we're lucky that we can still actually hunt like that, because most people can't. So, but I don't know. I just grew up this way. I don't know what's so scary about it. I would be more terrified walking down an alley, even if I had 100 people in the street up there. How many of those people are going to actually come to a call of danger, come to a woman's scream, run toward danger? Not many people that I've seen in the city run toward danger. Here in the sticks, we'll run straight for it, because we normally got 1 to 2 things that are lethal on us at all times. So we'll run smack straight for it, go right into it, and it doesn't bother us at all. And maybe that's why we grow up, a little bit more hands-on in Mother Nature. But in the city, I've never seen anyone run toward danger to help people. I just really never, and not unless they're a first responder or trained for it. I've never seen it. Like me personally, I've never seen it. Real life is scary. And if you supervise felons, you'll understand how scary it is. And you read the police reports of what people are capable of, you will understand why I pack and why I strategically pack and why I have strategically placed weapons in my home. Yes, you will understand. I live a very different existence than most of y'all, and I understand that. And while I am I'm a very mannish woman. I don't care to say that I am. I grew up as a farmhand. While I am a very mannish woman, I am very domesticated now since my health changed for this area. And the fact that I still scary and tickles me to death. But we need to do another shooting video. Mm-hmm. We absolutely do. Be a good thing. For the new subs, I know that some Avians come here and you're still kind of skittish. Let's just go ahead and show you what we're all about. Maybe some Avians choose to leave. Maybe some Avians choose to stay. Maybe some Avians it will make us interested and intrigued that, oh, it's not that scary. It's not that scary when somebody that you talk to often is handling those things. Maybe it will make you want to go down to the range and take a lesson or two. Just learn how they work. Learn to identify them. That'll save your butt 5 seconds. We run toward danger here in the sticks, but when I lived in the city and was going to school and stuff, I never saw anybody run toward anybody screaming. And I can say that because we had a girl that was attacked on campus when I was going to college, and I was the only one running to see what was going on. I broke through the crowd that had formed to watch her, and I got there about the time campus security got there, and they took that boy down. It was kind of fun to watch. But nobody else was running, and they looked at me like I was strange because I was running toward her screams. And I was looking at them like this because they were watching a woman get assaulted. There were 50 things laying nearby that could have been picked up and used as a weapon, and nobody stepped forward. And that poor girl was so hurt. I don't know. That kind of stuck in my head a lot when I was young. That bothered me a lot. Right there on campus at one of the main buildings. And he had been following her for days and thought that the best place to attack her, I guess, which kudos to him, nobody helped, so it probably was the best place, was after she had checked her mailbox at the main building in the back, because people just wanted in and out and they didn't pay attention, and he knew there were busy times and slow times. And he didn't care if he got caught, he cared if he got away with it. You gotta deal with these people that think like that. They don't care if they get caught, they care if they get away with it. He got away with it. He did suffer consequences legally. But nobody, like when I burst through the crowd to help and saw that campus security was right on him, I turned around and looked at everybody, and they were looking at me like, stupid idiot. And I was looking at them like, how can you just stand there? So it was complete lost in translation moment for me. Yeah, if one person will stand up, more will follow, and nobody will ever take up against a crowd. They will always back down. Unless they're truly whacked in the head. But people, I don't know, people just aren't the same anymore. We'll just say that. People ain't the same. Okay, it looks like my big kettle of water is starting to boil. I'm going to go over there and make some dinner. As I have described here, we'll do a shooting video very soon. Promise you. Now, since we promise you, we'll get you reestablished and reacquainted with all our weapons. We got a new scope it's fun. It took us a long time. It took us a long time to save up to pay for it, but it's fun. It's fun. And we'll go through some of the weapons. We got a couple that need to be four-sided because of the new scopes. So be a good education plan. I haven't shot in a while either. Just, I shot at a big, like, I don't know if it was a mama possum or a boar. But it was rolling through the barn lot acting, I don't know if maybe a skunk in it had been fighting or what. I don't know. But it wouldn't, like, I went out and yelled at it because I was trying to get it away from my barn. And it hissed at me, and I went, okay, well, bye. And that's the only thing I've shot at in a long time. Long time. I just, unless I'm in danger, I really don't like to shoot around my house unless I'm having to dispatch something that's, a dog or something that's come through growling and is a danger. David has had to dispatch that wild dog, but that's about it. There's still 2 dogs running at large around here, but they're less brave than when there were 3. And I expect somebody will probably clip the other 2 very soon because it's being sighted over at the farmer's hog lot, and he won't have that. So I'd say Farmer Smith will have him done in no time. Hello. I know I live in a different world, but I'd like to let you in on it so that when you see my life, you aren't terrified. Because I honestly, if the people in cities knew, they're the minority in this area because a lot of people, more people I would say live close to me than close to the people that live in the cities. It's just that the cities get, they get all the commercialization. So, but it's a good thing to show people different ways of life, especially because our country is so big and people do live so differently from coast to coast. So we'll do that. We'll do a shooting video. We'll do kind of a little education video. I'm not pulling that crossbow back out. That sucker's heavy. I only pack it if I absolutely have to hunt with it. I don't like pulling the arrows out of the foam targets either. It's a pain in the butt. David got a new 22 pistol. I'd like to fire it a few times. I like a little compact 22 pistol. I personally carry a 9mm, which he carries a 9 most of the time too, but he likes that little 22 for small stuff. But you got to think, both me and David in 5 minutes could be down a road that is next to a 4,000-acre farm that has got bears and coyotes and everything else on it. So yeah, my life's a little bit different than yours. So I guess it is. Got charged by that bear year before last hunting. That was an experience. I had to stand up and hoof at her, and then she decided she'd jump into the woods, and it made me mad because I thought you run at me and yell at me and growl at me, and then you dodge. Pansy. That's what I was mad at her because she pissed me off. I don't know. That's how I was raised. I was raised that way. That's how I was raised. So kudos to my daddy. I am a mean person. No, I'm not mean. I'm just very aware of nature and how I fit into it, and the fact that I'm not top dog when I'm out in the woods here. And my daddy taught me how to shoot very well. I'm a good shot. If nothing else, I'm a good shot. Yeah, that bear, she was the prettiest thing. And when I had her in the scope of that compound bow, I thought she takes 2 or 3 more strides. I'm gonna have to let this arrow fling regardless of where it goes. I didn't want to shoot her because you can't shoot one that legally has babies with her unless you're defending yourself. And when she picked up our scent and came charging at us, I was watching her through the scope on that bow, and I thought 2 or 3 more strides and I'm gonna have to let this arrow fly. And I whispered at David and I said, my 9 is in my inside harness. If you need, because it's on my side harness, I said, grab it if you need it. Because after I let that arrow go, then it's hands on. You can't take a centerfire weapon with you. You can carry a handgun, but you can't take a centerfire weapon with you. So it is up close and personal. And so when she decided to kind of run, and then she slowed down a little bit, and I kind of stood on up and kind of did a, kind of puff up at her. And she decided then that she'd go left and into the woods. Now she growled and moaned. She got over to the woods and took on and, and how they moan and sound so forlorn and hateful. And I yelled at her to shut up, bitch. And David said, why'd you have to do that? And I said, she pissed me off. I said, you don't run at me and tell me you're going to kill me and then just, you're gone. If you do something, mean it. I was mad. And lo and behold, every bear that was harvested this year, they take pictures of them and put them at the area stops where they check them in. It's just a big redneck thing. And I have checked every photo. Did you know she's not got killed? She's still out there. Unless she's died naturally, she's still out there. She's got a big tan face and it fades out. And that's how I know her, because not many have that full tan face up here. I'm watching for her, little heifer. We eat a lot of bear in the winter. We eat a lot of bear. We feed a lot of families a lot of meat that don't have food in the winter. We donate a lot. And I don't know, just country people, how country people live. I don't know. I'm trying to see this message it was held for review. I can't even see that it put enough letter. Funny. Okay, my water's definitely boiling. I've got to go make dinner. So there, if you want to follow the David's Etsy, I'll put a link in the comment after this loads, so you can just click over there. It's just to help him recoup yarn money that he buys and wastes on me. And surgeries, keep Sal and some other people in your prayers this week. And as soon as we get Mom healthy and I have a chance and it warms up and it's stable, David and I will go out when it's in the cool spring weather. We'll do a shooting video, and we'll sight some stuff in and do a little video and maybe help you understand that these things aren't lethal unless they're in the hands of a crazy person. Okay? Very important to know. But you should know your options to protect yourself, and you should be aware of them, and you should exercise them. You should at least be comfortable with them. Whether you think you're going to use them daily or not, be comfortable with them so that you can have the knowledge of how to handle them if you come across them. Could just be that somebody's going to use one negatively against you, and you're able to get it in your hands and save your own life. Know how to use it. Because if you get it and you don't know how to handle it, it's not going to magically fire. I guarantee you, it's not. If you grab a criminal's gun and you think that's going to stop the criminal, no. If you don't know how to fire that weapon, you just prolonged your life a little bit. That's all you did. So learn these things. You can save your life in a scenario like that. It's very important. Very important. I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate about women, and especially girls, learning how to use weapons. My daughter is a flipping ace shot. Matter of fact, there's a video on here somewhere of her when she was like 12, 13. She had a sight that had 3 swinging lead targets. She could ping, 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 and then ping, 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 spin it back down. Ping, 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 and ping, ping, ping. She'd never have to go tip it. She just ping, 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 up, ping, 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 down, up. I'd be like, you're going through the ammo pretty quick there, Haley. But she's a perfect shot. perfect shot on her first deer she harvested. Never scoffed to help to clean her own animals. And she's just, I don't know, just a kid, way we're raised. It's just farm kids, I guess. That's what we are. No. It just made me think I haven't done that so long. Yes, absolutely. Shooting video on the horizon. Shooting video on the horizon. Yes. Now I want to do it right now. I have to wait. We need good weather, and I need Mom to get through her surgery and feel good first. Okay. I'm on to dinner detail. Love yous. Go to David's Etsy, Hillbilly Heart Decor. If you want a frog, just message him and say, I want this frog, or I want this frog, or can she make that, or let him know. And he'll let me know, and I'll just keep making these frogs as long as the yarn he bought me holds out. That's what we'll do. And he'll thank you to recoup some of his yarn money. He will probably thank you in the messages that you send him on Etsy. Because bless his heart, when he looks at my poly yarn, he's like, seriously? And I'm like, I can't use it all perfectly. It doesn't time out like that. But he doesn't understand how yarn works in crochet. So I try to find little stuff to make so that I can get the bulk of it, even the scraps and stuff, I can use it, put it into something. Oh yeah. We leave nice little indicators. You leave targets in your front yard and people are like, probably not. Okay, I've got to go. I've got to put my stuff in my boiling water. I love you guys. Check in later in the week. I will try to check in and let you know how everybody's doing. And it'll probably just be a short, but I will try to do check-ins. And y'all know that y'all can always email me. It's watersworkload@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can message David on his Etsy store, and I'll put a link in later when I get done with dinner. But I love you. Pray for everybody. Keep spreading your thoughts and prayers. And I'll see you probably midweek. Bye, guys.